Okay, we'd like to welcome you to Fabric Chicks Live at noon. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can just kind of plan on having lunch with us. So exciting. So Mondays typically, just a heads up, not that I want you to not watch on Mondays, because sometimes Mondays we have great interviews. Sometimes on Mondays we have great demos because we've actually done something over the weekend. You just never know. So you always want to tune in. But most Mondays, we're kind of overwhelmed and trying to fill your guys' orders so we can get them shipped and packaged and out to you. So every Friday we do a celebration, which is from noon to about 2:30. You can watch it in increments if it's too long for you or if you have other things to do. Sometimes though on the Friday sale, I know some people are get upset because we only have a few of some items. So it goes to the first people that comment. So you kind of want to plan your life, I hear. You want to plan your life around that so that you're available to watch the Friday lives to get the best deals. But if you ever have any questions, you can give us a call, 775-267-0204. Hey, Greta, did you get Devon's binding on? The ladies are so excited to see it. And I've cleared a spot in the shop, so we're going to hang it right at the front entrance here. So I think that's going to be pretty exciting to highlight his kit. Hey, Cindy, how are you?
Good.
Good. Do you need anything?
Yes, actually I do.
What do you need?
I need some bamboo batting for a quilt I'm making.
Okay, Devon can get that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, tell him how. Okay, perfect. Okay, so as you know, we are a live shop that's open to the public. So we always have customers coming in and out. So sometimes you just have to bear with us. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Karen. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Hi, Diane. Hi, Rondi. Hi, Mary. Hi, Delphina. Thank you for joining us. So if you have any questions today's a perfect day to answer them because Wednesday we're going to be pretty busy with interviewing Bernadette from Wonderful Thread. You might have to go cut her one.
How big is that?
Queen size, you can look right here, and it's going to tell you 96 by 108. So 96. Okay, so yes. Sorry about that. So I'm going to show you a few things. We had Wednesday, we're going to have Bernadette from Wonderful Threads. She's going to be discussing the different specialty threads that they carry. But I do want to let you know, sorry, Wonderful, but I don't think you guys carry this. But we did just get, like Roger literally just opened the box of our Flange threads. So I think that we got like 26 colors or something. So this is the Flange thread that Diana Hensley showed us not too long ago. It's a polyester, it's an acrylic, 100% acrylic, and you take a brush to it, and it's great for animal fur because it's kind of hairy. And I don't know if you guys can see how hairy it is, but it's great for animals. They use it in embroidery on animals a lot. It definitely has a furry texture. So we'll put those on Friday's sale. But so we're always trying to find the different threads that are available. One of the questions that we got the other day was if we could do a demo on self-binding quilts. So actually, I had to look that up because I didn't know what a self-binding quilt was. I would really like a quilt that binds itself, but apparently that's not what it actually means. So what it actually means is it's when you use the kind of in the olden days, like the very first quilt I made when I was 12, we used a blanket for the backing and you leave enough extra so you can roll it over and top stitch it. So it would kind of look like this. I'm going to do like a quick little demo. And I will demo it, but it actually just arrived 30 seconds ago. So I made Roger open up the boxes really quick before we started so we would know what had come in to tell you. So I haven't had time to start it. Hi, Lynn Jenkins. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Ann. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Pam. So it's silky thread, but the name of it, the type of it is named Flange, Filaine. Rondi, I'm going to tell you. There's a note here from Devin. Listen, Rondi, this is as good as it gets. Yeah, they did call. At least they called. But it was a message, and it just said, can't Zoom this week. Easter week can. So I think that not this week, but the next week they can. But I'll have to call them and confirm them. And Ann Linda Meyer, I have to call Eleanor again with your address because she misplaced it, but she does have your goodie box to send you. Okay, let's see. It's hard to keep up with all your comments and questions. And I know, Lynn, nothing binds itself. Oh, Mary, I just didn't get up early enough to curl my hair today. Okay, so self-binding, what you're going to do is this is your batting, this is your backing fabric. This is your batting and your quilt top, right? And then you quilt it all up like this. And then you're going to take your backing and you're going to roll it over however big you want your binding to be. So you could do a really big binding. Oh, Roger decided to get close, so I'm going to do it again. Okay, so you're going to layer your backing fabric, your batting, and your quilt top. Okay, and then you're going to take your backing and you're going to fold it over like this. So you can make it as big as you want. You could do a big border like that if you wanted. So self-binding basically is just using your backing and folding it over, and then you would just top stitch down like this. So you could use a decorative stitch or anything you want. So that is what self-binding is. And then I'll just go over real quick because I know a lot of you don't do bindings right away. So another type of binding is the facing. So this binding, you sew it to the front and then you pull it to the back. So that way you don't actually see your binding. And then you can just, if it's a wall hanging, like Penny said, you can just use the unique stitch glue and just glue it down. I used Steam a Seam 2 Light and fused this down. So there's no stitching on this binding. And at the same time, I sewed in the sleeve to hang it. But it didn't really stick too well here. You can see that the fusible didn't melt, so I need to hit that again. So you girls get to learn from all of my mistakes or all of my, I was rushing events. So then the next thing we have, thank you, Cindy. All right, we'll see you soon. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have? So Mary Beatty, it would depend on how wide you want your binding, your binding to be. If you wanted it to frame your quilt, kind of like a picture frame, you could do a wider one, but you would want at least a ½ inch because you want to be able to fold it to get a finished edge. See you soon. Okay, so you're gonna, like this, you're gonna have to fold it a ½ inch, right? And then iron that. And then if you just want it to be a ½ inch, so you have a regular size binding, you would just go like that. But if you wanted it to be bigger, like a quilt frame, you could do it like this and then bring it over. So you could leave batting. You don't even have to have your quilt top in this extra part. You could leave batting to fill the binding. You could leave extra batting, cut a ½ inch extra batting around your quilt top, and then leave a big, kind of like a big border if you want it. So like my mom, she would do it that way because binding really wasn't a thing until probably like the 90s, maybe late 80s or early 90s. I think back in the day, quilting was done for because of its usefulness. You know, we took old clothes, we repurposed them, we made quilts to keep us warm. We definitely would not have, in my mom's day and age, she definitely would not have bought $13 yard fabric, cut it up into little pieces, and sewn it all back together. So I think we do nowadays a binding to make it look more professional. But you know, at some point everything cycles back in. So at some point the self binding might become popular again. I think it's used a lot on charity quilts. Um, you would never see that, I don't think, in a quilt show. If somebody was entering into a quilt show to be judged, I don't think that that would be an acceptable binding, but maybe I could be wrong. But for as long as I've been quilting, which is like 30 years or more, we've been doing binding, you know, where you cut 2.5 or 2.25, or if you're entering into shows, like the professionals, they cut their binding at like 1 7/8. But if you do that, it's like so hard to pull it over and cover your stitch lines. So I usually cut my binding at 2.25 because I don't want it to be sloppy. But some people cut it bigger and then leave an extra 1/4 inch of batting all around that's larger than their quilt top, a 1/4 inch larger than their quilt top, and then they fold it over so that they can get a larger binding to frame their quilt better. So it's really just your personal preference. And like this binding here is chenille it. So this is just the chenille it bias tape that we have sewn on the binding and sewn around the edge of the quilt and then just thrown in the washer so you get that ruffled up look. We did that also here um, with two of the chenillettes, the red and the turquoise, to give it kind of a different look. Let's see what else. One of my favorite bindings. Hi, how are you?
Good.
One of my favorite bindings is the flange binding, and that's where I don't know what it is. I think it's 1 7/8 and 2.25 of two different fabrics, and then you sew them together and you create a flange. I don't know if we have any quilts here in the shop. Devin, can you get my clear mask? I am not. Oh, I know. Come here. Here's a flange binding. So here we did the flange binding. So I did the black and then I did the fall colored fabric, ironed them together, sew them on, and you sew them onto the back side and you pull it to the front. So it's opposite your normal binding. And then you just stitch right in the ditch here. So nobody sees your stitch on the front side, but you will see it on the back side. So that's a flange binding. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Roger, do you have any comments? Okay, I'm going to try to find the comments because hi Linda Hall Wagner. Elizabeth Cronewetter, wow, didn't know that about the small binding for entering in shows. We'll have to notice that. Yes. The people that enter shows, they're perfectionists. Oh, Phyllis, you're gonna have to turn an alarm on. Okay, so then I was just gonna tell you about a couple of classes. We do have we did just schedule Sandra Mullen. She's gonna be teaching the last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of June, and the subject's going to be a giraffe. All the details aren't planned out yet, but if you don't know who she is, you can go to her website, or you can go to Quilt Show Reno. We did an interview of her yesterday. The sound's not too good; it breaks up a little bit, but the interview is still worth watching. Okay, and then we have, let's see. Yeah, it came with the elephant up there. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? So we've got a couple of classes coming up, and I know you girls, if you've taken the thread class, you have this book and this thread set. So if you've taken the class, you can just comment and we'll add you to the class again. Once you do a class, then you can do it again at no charge because it's always good to keep learning. And sometimes you don't pick everything up. A class is kind of overwhelming. In this class, we discuss a lot of stuff. We go over threads from 100 weight to 8 weight, and you'll practice with them. So we have this class coming up on May 3rd from 5 to 7. But there's so much that you can do with threads that you don't even know. Like here's a thread here's a leaf that's completely made out of threads and washaways. And we do cover the washaways. You can go on our website and find our schedule that's coming up. These are also bowls that are made out of thread. So you just kind of puddle your different yarns that you want to, and then you just stitch with your thread. So this is completely made out of yarn and thread. Once you wash it away, you just get a fun little bowl. Here's one where we did it a lot denser, and it's just yarns and threads that you just stitch over a billion times. So in the thread class, we cover all the different weights, why you would use them, when you would use them, how you would use them. And then we have the Bedazzle panel class coming up. We have the Gnome class coming up. If you didn't get a class schedule in your last order, let us know and we'll put one in. Okay, any other questions or comments, girls? Let's see. Yes, Mary Beatty, the flange binding is all done by machine. You do not do anything by hand. Okay, so that's all that we have for today. Because we are trying to get all your orders out. But make sure you tune in on Wednesday at 12. We'll be interviewing Bernadette from Wonderful Threads. I might have to put a little secret, whisper in her ear and see if she's got any good door prizes that she might want to feel like she should donate to us for the cause. We'll see. All right, girls, we will see you on Wednesday at noon with Bernadette from Wonderful. Have a great day and a half. Do something creative. Finish those UFOs so you can be entered in the drawings. Bye. Okay.